Whoa, look at all of this. I mean, with all this, there was really no point in combining the May and June pickups into one video, but some shit happened at the start of June and I got super backed up with a lot of things, so here I am combining the May and June hauls into one video. And actually, at the start of May, it was pretty humble. I mean, pick this up. Goomba, finally saw him in stores, didn't have to pay like $20 to get it online or whatever. Got it at a Target for half the price. So maybe I can army build Goombas. Or maybe not, I don't know. And then, soon after that, at that same Target, after rearranging a whole bunch of things on my shelf and opening up a lot more space, I decided, what can I do to immediately fill it up and crowd everything up again? And realizing I didn't have that much movie representation, I figured, might as well get one of the biggest movie stars ever, the big G Godzilla. Yes, this is like the 2004 version of Godzilla, my favorite movie, Final Wars. But people have said this is one of the worst Godzilla figures ever, not much detail, looks cheap, not very posable, but I need something big. I mean, just big, towering over everything else on this one. Don't forget, most of the Transformers I have, like Optimus and Megatron and Starscream, they're in the 9-10 inch masterpiece range, so I needed... Godzilla has to be bigger than them, way bigger. He must tower over all, just to keep that symbolism. I needed one of the biggest ones I could find, and this one, from my favorite Godzilla movie, that was a no-brainer. And I was also on a nostalgia kick, so... I also got, even though I'm not very familiar with, didn't really watch that many episodes, Jem, she's kind of like the sister hanging around, like the big siblings, you know, like Transformers, My Little Pony, G.I. Joe, and I thought this was a nice looking mug, so hang on to that. And also, after seeing this one episode of Irate Gamer, and I saw that he had this glass, I knew I had to have it, this vintage glass. Even after all these years, seeing Super Mario Bros. 2, anything about it, I just remember how it sparked my imagination, just sucked me in everything about it. Yeah, I know, it was basically the first example of a ROM hack, putting in some Mario characters into that game, Doki Doki Panic, which was originally a prototype for a Mario sequel, but brought out of mothballs for like a tie-in with UGTV, but back then I didn't know any of that stuff. I thought it was awesome, and I still do. Also, a pre-order came in May, something I had ordered months ago. I mean, when I first saw Angry Video Game Nerd, the videos on YouTube, I was thinking, oh god, this deserves a physical edition, and many years later, we got it. I had the Wii U version at first, the digital download, but I wanted the remasters for Switch, something I could hold in my hand. No instruction booklet, unfortunately, but it has this cool reversible cover. And that immediately got me... Raph, really? That immediately got me wanting to get more Switch stuff, and so on eBay I picked up this other limited run game, East Origin, because a good friend of mine, NecroVMX, he was streaming it at the time, and I figured, why not? Why not? The only East games I played is the TurboGrafx CD version of 1 and 2, 5, a translated ROM, a reproduction card, and 7 for the PSP. Figure if I'm going to jump back in, go back to where it all began. So yeah. And also speaking of well, this wasn't a pre-order. My first ever order from a big toy retailer online, Entertainment Earth. They had them in stock when I decided, oh, might as well take the plunge. I already did a video of this, I'll probably put a link in the description, but this is my first Thundercats anything, and I've only started really watching the series in earnest lately, because I can count the number of episodes I saw as a kid on one hand. But I'm really liking it. It's really surprised me. Just how it's just easy watching. Just this feel-good, throwback nostalgia stuff over something I don't really remember and never really got into as a kid. It shouldn't be nostalgic, but it just reeks of 80s goodness, so it does. And yeah, this is my first Super 7 figure. Pretty pose. Everything about it just feels pretty good. There's a problem with the knee joint right here. I noticed too late, but oh well. Can't have everything. Just great figure overall, and I'm glad to have my first ever Thundercats thing on the shelf. Also, that month, back in May, I already had one I was keeping in the box, but then Target had a half-off sale for a week on the Masters of the Universe stuff, and I figured, why not? I did see some He-Man as a kid. I fondly remember the theme song, very nostalgic, but I gotta be honest, Thundercats is definitely a better show, but still, the nostalgia is more in force here with He-Man, even though not a lot of things about it have aged well, but I figured, well, why not for $10, get an opener and put them on the shelf. Besides, this is the Revelation version, which so many people still whine and bitch about. I still gotta get into that. Not to mention, I decided I'm gonna check out the Netflix She-Ra, because some of the clips came recommended on YouTube, and guys, really? Wait your goddamn turn. Get everyone back up there. What was I talking about? It doesn't matter. Also, movie-wise, I had to get physical editions of these. I mean, for a long time, I didn't think any Batman or Spider-Man movies would just nail it. I mean, after like the Batman v Superman, which was not terrible, but I had to agree. DC really rushed it with that movie, and then Homecoming I didn't care for, but then you had stuff like Far From Home and Lego Batman, and then these two, oh man, chef's kiss. Had to have the physical versions of those. Put stuff back up. Alright. And then move on to the stuff I got in June. I really splurged with this one. I had the Masterpiece version of Starscream, which cost me about $100 at a great toy store around here, but this cost a bit more, but oh, it's so worth it. It's a third-party Bumblebee. It's not officially licensed by Hasbro. It's one called Transcraft, but I knew this was the Bumblebee I wanted, because this is, out of all the ones that can transform, this one's probably the tallest, so it'll tower over most of the Joes I put them close by. And I like Heresy. I like this design for Bumblebee way more than G1. I never liked the G1 version where he just kind of lays back and transforms. It just kind of seemed like kind of bleh. This one with the headlights up in the chest and all the details, see all the pistons and gears and stuff. And this version, oh, just look at the paint detail on this one. Like an actual friggin' Volkswagen Bug vintage vehicle from years and years ago. I haven't really tried transforming it yet. I'm almost afraid to, because this thing looks so odd. I'm afraid I'm gonna break this sucker. Still, just knowing I can is the real draw for me. Again, yeah. And you can't even knock it for being from the live-action movies, because Michael Bay only was a producer on this one. He directed all the other ones, but he stayed on as producer for this one, and let's say he didn't mess anything up with this one. This movie was so good, and the design for Bumblebee was so exquisite. Okay, now to complete the nostalgia trip to stuff. Well, no. Well, come to think of it, Lino is really the only straight-up thing from the 80s. This is the Revelation version of He-Man. This is from a movie version of Bumblebee much later. I mean, this is from a 2004 version of Godzilla, and now we have the 2003 Ninja Turtles. Going back to the Switch stuff, when this stuff... Also, you had Shredder's Revenge finally hit, but I pre-ordered a Switch copy from Limited Run instead of getting the digital copy. I was just in a turtley mood, and I had to have the physical copy of that, because old school Turtles fan. I was in a turtley mood, and when I went to a collector show around here, I was surprised to find these four who had most of the weapons with them. I got the rest off of eBay, the weapons I still needed, and I wasn't even looking for these. I wasn't counting on finding all four of these turtles at a good price in such good condition. I mean, okay, I also still have the 2012 versions. I like those a bit better, a bit more posable, better craftsmanship. But still, these harken more back to the limited posability of the old original Playmates ones of the 87 Turtles. But damn, still, they look good, and they're just about the right height. They only look too short because they're kind of got their legs spread out, knees bent. Still. Oh, and unlike the 2012 Turtles, their accessories, the weapons are painted. You got silver on the chains, you got the white wrapping around the nunchaku. Same with the wrapping around Donatello's bow. Mikey, don't be an idiot. I know that's a tall ass, but yeah. You got the silver and brown on Leonardo's short end. Raphael, my absolute favorite turtle. Same with his weapons. Got a little scuff right here, but it's no big deal. I mean, to find all four turtles and most of their weapons at such a good price, it made it worth it just to go on eBay and just buy the rest of the accessories I needed. So yeah, that's all the stuff I picked up in May and June. Little 80s nostalgia palooza right here. Well, even East Origin counts for that, because that series actually started in 87 on the PC 98. No, wait, no, the original East one, PC 88, my mistake. East 2 was on the PC 98. So yeah, big haul. How much? And I blew way more money than I should have, but whatever. There's some good deals I couldn't pass up and crowd out the shelf some more.